In the global energy supply chain, seagoing oil tankers came into existence in the late 1800s, when the discovery and exploration of oil made them the most cost-effective and reliable way to move a business worth billions of dollars. Oil tankers are the most important part of liquid bulk. Reserves and storage facilities are mostly in a few countries, while refineries and consumers are spread out over a large area. Oil tankers are a big part of how the world gets most of its energy. Oil tankers are huge, high-tech ships that can take crude oil and refined petroleum products anywhere in the world. Most of the time, this tanker segment is split into two groups. Crude oil is moved from the countries where it is mined to the countries where it is refined into other products. Most of the time, these ships can carry 350,000 tons of crude oil in a single trip. Tankers can only transport petroleum products like diesel, gas, lubricating oil, and gasoline from the refineries to the ports. They can carry up to 35,000 tons. Oil is important to the global energy market, but it is also very dangerous. This means that ships carrying oil need to be operated, loaded, and unloaded by people who are highly trained and certified. When people want to work on oil tankers, they have to go through an orientation and a lot of safety training. Tankers are made with a long, flat hull. Most of these ships have between 8 and 12 tanks and 2 hulls to protect their cargo and reduce the chance of spills in case of accidents or collisions. During the loading process of an oil tanker, the representatives of the unloading terminal and the ship's captain must share the right information, including any details about the plan for the rate of loading the ship and its cargo. Before loading the watch, the staff should make sure that all of the tank's openings are properly sealed and that the insert gas valve is in the right place with the manifolds. Oil is a fluid that can catch fire. The engine and any other electrical devices, like radios and radars, must be turned off, because it only takes a small spark to start a fire. When there is only one tank, oil is pumped into the ship's tanks very slowly to avoid making static. Once the cargo temperature and all safety checks have been confirmed, the chief officer opens other loading tanks and asks the terminal to carefully increase the loading rate to the required rate. From start to finish, filling the tankers takes between 1 and 10 hours. Oil tankers have big engine rooms, a lot of fire safety gear, gas systems inside to stop fires, and crude oil washing equipment to clean the cargo tanks. Slop tanks are used to store oil waste, and backup steering and navigational systems are in place in case the main systems fail to keep all the systems working. Seafarers do a lot of training and checks every day. Crew members stay fit and healthy by going to the ship's gym and eating meals that are carefully made for them in the ship's kitchen. Tankers have amenities like dining rooms, living rooms with TVs and DVD players, and a friendly atmosphere that lets the crew chill out and get to know each other. Tankers are often used for business, but they are also needed to refuel military ships. Fill-up ships are tankers that serve military ships. Tankers are support ships for the Navy. They have fuel tanks and cargo holds to carry fuel, ammunition, dry stores, or people while they are on the move. Horizontal or connected replenishment is when tankers fill up while they are still moving. It is a risky job, because 2 or 3 ships moving fast next to each other must stay on the same course for a long time. Most of the time, refueling takes between 2 and 10 hours, depending on the size of the ship and how much fuel can be pumped at once. How much fuel can be pumped at once? When a helicopter is used to move fuel or other goods, this is done with a technique called vert wrap. This is the best way to move sensitive items like weapons, but it is not the best way to move large amounts of fuel. To transfer fuel to an aircraft carrier, the refueling ship lines up next to the warship and matches its speed. Then, a specially trained operator fires a shot line to pull the distance line and bring the 2 ships into contact. Once they are connected, the tanker pumps fuel into the aircraft carrier's tanks. During this operation, the 2 ships must stay on a certain course and move at a certain speed. Even a small mistake in steering during one of the shifts could cause a crash or break the fuel lines and transfer lines. So, skilled and experienced helmsmen are needed during the refueling, and the crew on the bridge must pay full attention to the ship's speed and course before using the fuel. In the high oceans, it might be easy to move oil tankers around while fueling ships. But when the water is shallow and crowded, it's much harder. To get ready for mooring and cargo operations, the captain must call the vessel traffic service of the port of call at least 24 hours before the ship arrives to confirm its call and get berthing service. Without tugboats, it would be impossible to moor ships and move cargo. Tugboats are made to help all kinds of ships dock or leave the water by pulling or pushing them toward the port and through narrow canals. The engines on tugboats have a lot of power, from 680 to 3,400 horsepower. They can make up to 9.5 times as much power as they weigh, which means they can move ships that are 1,000 times their size and weight. Oil tankers need tugboats to get them to where they need to be. The building of this huge ship needs to be done with perfect accuracy. Even the smallest mistake can cause damage. Once the tanker gets to the port, it stops moving forward on its own and relies on the incredible power of the tugboat to move forward. As long as fuel is still the main source of energy for the world economy, tankers are needed to keep international supply chains running smoothly and to protect national security. A tugboat will always be there to make sure the oil is safely borne so it can be sent to the customer. Thanks for watching.